I was in training to be an individual coach, and so had just finished my work training through Coactive, and realized because of past experiences I had with leadership programs and group learning that there's this incredible power to have people learn from each other in a group setting. And I was really curious how someone really successfully executes a group program where they're bringing the magic that happens in individual coaching out into the group setting so that it plays out across a number of people. And I was looking around for programs, and Group Coaching HQ really stood out to me as a great group. And I was really really touched in the beginning by how Dom really brought me into the program. I, was intimidated by the possibility that I'd be there with a lot of people who had a lot more experience than me as coaches. But the entire time I felt really connected with and welcomed by the group. I feel that with coaches all the time. And so I should have known that that would be the experience. But the individual sessions that we had to lead came after a couple sessions of watching other people demonstrate group coaching, and then the style of receiving our group coaching when we had to lead individual sessions, and then the feedback that we got from the other participants and from Don and Maribel was really wonderful. And I left feeling a lot more confident about my ability to do it. Towards the middle, as we were really getting into the meat of the course, we started each session, we would break out into 2 separate groups, and then we would, a couple of us would go off of camera, and several of us would be part of the group, and one participant in the class would lead a group coaching session. They would pick a topic of their choice, an approach of their choice, and we would walk through a 30-minute group coaching session with them. And we got to be coached as a group with several members of the course over and over again. And so I think that mimicked some of what happens when you eventually go on to group coaching in the future, where you're building relationships and growing and building off of the ideas that you exchange with people that you're in group with. And so we'd go through a group coaching session, write down and record feedback, and then share feedback, and have a very open back and forth session where we shared feedback with the person who did group coaching. And then we would leave those the smaller group coaching sessions and then go out into a larger session where we learned some aspect of group coaching, whether it was forming group formation, specifics about how to structure group coaching programs. So yeah, the beginning session was an actual experimentation in group coaching, and then it was backed up afterwards by a learning session that was focused around some important topic that would help us be practitioners in the future. I think 2 things were really impactful to me. One, again, I've been through a couple coaching trainings, and so you're always with a group of really warm and vulnerable people. And I was impressed by the openness that some of the other group participants brought into this setting. I went in every week. Our classes were on Friday morning, and I left really full and energized for each Friday that I went into after the sessions. And that was because the people in the course really put their whole hearts out and really, shared real issues that they were going through. And it really made the group coaching activities very real. So it wasn't just, there was no faking it. It was all real and heartfelt. And then the other big thing that this course structure that Dom and Maribel provided was they gave a lot of actual tools for you to use in designing your own group coaching courses later on. One of the biggest results I got from this program was confidence in my ability to execute a group training program. I think early on, they, in teaching the course, seeded this concept of this beautiful experimentation that happens. And I think sort of freeing myself from it needing to be this perfectly executed thing, and that it was that group coaching is this sort of living thing that happens as you're working with a group, that you really feed on the energy of the group that you're working with. It made me confident that it would be okay, no matter how things played out. And I think watching my peers go through situations where they felt nervous and were fumbly going into this setting of working with new people, and realizing that a lot of the doubt that you place on yourself about how a session is going to play out is in your head and it's not as visible to the people that you're working with, was really powerful and making me feel like I could do this in the future, out in the wild. I would recommend the program to people who have, so yeah, folks looking for continuing education with coaching, people who have a lot of experience with individual coaching and want to know how to, I guess, expand the impact of their programming and their offerings to a larger group of people. I think the program would be really impactful too for people who have experience with facilitation to learn the difference between uh, sort of really thinking through the difference between, yeah, facilitating a guided session versus like bringing together a group of people who have diverse interests or who have a similar interest, but then are trying to work through that interest on their own in an individual way. Dom and Maribel are so warm and bring really warm and amazing people to them. And all the group coaches that they had had come in to demonstrate group coaching to us were really amazing and really amazing practitioners to learn from. And so I really believe in their power to bring in good people that can shine out really good things back out to the world.